How you doing, man?
I'm good. How was your week?
Man, that was we started, when did your weekend start? Did it start Thursday?
Yeah.
Because I saw you.
It always kind of starts on Tuesday a little bit, but Thursday. Yeah.
Well, how was the Bluegrass Jam?
Bluegrass sound great, always.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I caught your show Thursday, Songbirds. That was a great show.
Great show. Yeah, for a few years, I've been going down to Sewanee Roots in Florida because I really, in finding the kind of music that I'm into, it starts at the roots level. It bluegrass, folk, Americana. There's so many funk, blues.
Yeah.
It kind of stretches a broad blanket. So Joe Craven was always kind of a big part of that. And part of my little dream mindscape was introducing Joe Craven to Tyler Martelli and Danimal Pinson. That just had to happen.
Yeah,
because you saw it. There was a moment at Songbirds where Joe Craven looked over at Martelli and they were playing individual notes and eighth notes. So Martelli was playing the and Joe Craven was playing the on. And they played a solo for, a minute and a half? Like that. And the number one thing that I, as a musician, want to see is all of my friends succeed.
Yeah.
Right? That's the number one thing. Because if I'm around that means that I'm a part of what's going on. I don't care. I just want to be a part of what's happening, you know? And so, man, then we went to Atlanta. Songbird show was great. Atlanta, packed house, and it was silent.
T-Dog throws a party, man.
Yes, Coach.
When T-Dog says, hey, we're doing a show here, people show up. He has a standard set.
And you've been hanging with him since, you said 2008?
A long time ago. It was Keel Family Function was the first gig we played with him, and that was in that was the farm, what's his name? Smokies.
Oh, Smokies over
yeah, back in those days.
When he was doing Harvest Fest over there and stuff?
Yeah, I came right outside of Harvest Fest. Right after Harvest Fest ended.
Yes, sir.
Man.
So were there, that must have been a blast. And so, yeah, T-Dog did great. And then a bunch of my favorite Atlanta musicians were there.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And, like Tyler Neal.
Did it make you nervous?
No, they're friends, you know.
Friends.
And luckily, they're friends. And so I remember just, and a few guys, one of the cats, he played in a band called the Sun Dogs. He was Malele Roots' old guitar player. And he was there. So it just felt really connected. But anyway, just biggest opportunity I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
cool.
honest, outside of singing with my parents,
yeah.
But other than that, it was a beautiful time. On Sunday, we met up at way too early in the morning for me, but you've been there since 8, right?
Oh, Jazz Fest.
Jazz Fest.
Yeah. Chattanooga Jazz Fest was this weekend. That was a great time.
You were a man on the move.
Yeah. It's fun to volunteer. I love volunteering at festivals. I have the time to do it right now. That weekend, we just happened to have Sunday off, so it worked out.
The true Tennessee spirit, man. Yeah, we show up and we help. It
was fun. We had a great time. So many great bands. There was such a cool turnout. There was the kind of turnout. I think everybody expected a turnout, but not quite the turnout that came, especially in the rain or when it wasn't really raining too bad. But the weather was a little bit of a challenge because it was threatening the whole time. But man, when the UTC band was playing, this whole one side was just loaded with parents and fellow UTC students. And it was packed out, man. And they were raging every time. It's a sax solo that ends and they all erupt, man. It was awesome.
Everybody's tuned in.
Yeah, everybody's really tuned in. It was a really, really fun time. I was really excited the whole time. The vibe stayed really cool. Everything was easy, honestly. It worked out a little too well, it's all going a little too easy. There was one small part where they thought we were going to have to move inside, but we didn't have to, and it worked out good. I would say that's definitely going to happen again.
Yes.
I think it definitely exposed a need for a free jazz fest in the city of Chattanooga. It needs it for sure. Yeah. And the people who came, everybody was really pumped. Everybody was really excited. Adam Stone did a great job, and all of the volunteers and all the people who helped put it on. River City Company, of course, is a big part of putting that stuff on. So, being big thanks to those folks who are just donating and putting money into the music economy to make stuff like this happen. Really cool. But yeah, it was really cool.
They said there was a QR code, right, that was to be scanned to kind of exhibit attendance, I guess, and also get people involved, right? And so Adam Stone said at the end of the night during the jam, we were all sitting outside, exhausted, right? And he said there were 400 people that scanned that QR code.
That's cool.
So if we were kind of sitting around kicking the number, and I think 1 out of every 3. That's a high.
Yeah.
That's a high.
Yeah, not everybody did it for sure.
So I'm thinking there were 1,200 plus people there.
Yeah.
Throughout the day.
That was the great thing about it, was it was constantly moving. There was constantly a flow of people, and they just stayed busy. Yeah, until late. And it did end kind of a hilarious way, where it was just like, I mean, that Premier Jazz Band, if you ever get a chance to go see them, which you do, man, they're unreal. And it was just stacked. It's raining, and just all in the front is all of these Chattanooga musicians just lined up in circles, just watching the Premier Jazz Band play. That was cool.
Yeah, that last band was what you were talking about?
Yeah.
I got there. I was there to help a little bit at the beginning, and then Lon started playing, and I looked at Adam and I was like, if this is all that comes today, this is great, because it was a great crowd.
Yeah,
for
good
Lon
crowd. Yeah,
earlier in the day.
He started it off too with the killer rendition of Chattanooga Choo Choo. Right. Nailed it.
And his voice, you're just like, that's why I've never done it.
He's such a great performer, man.
We were talking.
He's just so seasoned. But
well, you started. What was the story with you and him when he was 18 in the folk? You had a
Well, when he first started coming around, he was really young. He was just still in college or just out of college. But I remember he had curly Q mustache,
original handlebar mustache.
Yeah,
post
one of the
World
OGs.
War II.
Yeah, one of the OGs. And just play. I mean, his fingerstyle guitar player. He plays and sang just as great as he does now. So guitar playing great, vocals are great, and they were just coming out of this young kid's body. Which was wild to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you can play guitar like that, I looked at you yesterday and I was like, there's nothing lacking here at all. Like all of the rhythms, all of the melodies, all of the movement, it's all there, and that's really cool. So he had but as we were playing brunch, because after Lon, I ran over and we got ready, and there was not a big crowd at the beginning, so I thought, oh, they're all at Jazz Fest, and then we got a huge crowd.
Yeah, you guys were slammed.
So while we were getting the news, because people were walking back and forth, how's Jazz Fest? That's all I was yelling, And we had Bill Fleming, so I could talk a little bit more, and people were like, oh my gosh, it's great, it's packed, and I'm thinking packed, 400 people or something. No, apparently it was
jamming, man.
A sea of, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was jamming.
Good job for Adam. And one of their sponsors came up and told Adam, they said, this is one of the most diverse crowds that we've seen at an event in Chattanooga. Age, every other, just across the board. And that's what music does, right? And that's what jazz is about.
Yeah.
Like, jazz is about that probably more than any genre, because it was about playing music before it was jazz.
Yeah,
for sure. It was just music.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that a lot. There was a lot of the talk about the history of jazz, especially in Chattanooga, and how important and how
there is such a historical presence in jazz.
And it's in the heart of Chattanoogans. It's in the heart of, exploring music is in the heart of a Chattanoogan. And that's what's so cool about the spirit of it, I was given permission to do stuff at these shows here that you'd take it to Nashville, and they would be like, all right, we're closing the bar up. He started quacking into a mic, So I just really think that it feels a part of Chattanooga that was needed,
I think it did two things. Well, I think it definitely showed that, like, a free jazz fest, it has legs. I mean, people, so many people showed up. Everybody was really excited about it. It was such a great show. It was all local artists, and it was, these great jazz bands that are around town. I think a lot of people didn't really realize, we're here. I think the other thing, it showed off that space and the Choo Choo really well, because it's a great spot for a micro festival just like that. That stage works out really well. You've got vendors literally vendors on the whole thing, because you've got Wonderlinger out there, you got Gate 11 right there, you have all those places to eat, and Nick and Norman's, and they're all right there. On top of, Adam had vendors, so, you have all your vendors set up there. It's just such a great space, man. It's surprising to me that it doesn't get used every single weekend, Friday and Saturday for something,
That's right. And it's been done by the couple outdoors festivals.
See, that's the last time I was
out.
at it.
Yeah.
It killed at the Outdoors Festival. I thought the same thing. Like, what a cool venue. So I'm glad to see that it's getting used for that.
Every time it's used, and even the venues out there that have music outside that are surrounding, it's a great spot for you to hang out and listen to music there, even when something's not going on.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm surprised that place isn't packed all the time, no matter what's going on, because it's a great community gathering spot. You have coffee and 6 places to choose from to eat.
Yeah, it's all that stuff.
It's like
Elsie's
a mini
daughter. Yeah.
It's an outdoor mini complex, mini map.
But yeah, so Jazz Fest, my report, A+. Good job, Adam.
Big time. And congratulations, Adam. Seriously. Hard work. That was what that was.
Yeah. Moving on to this week.
Yes.
I don't know, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the one I sent you, but if you put the bands that are playing in Chattanooga this weekend just on like a festival chart, it was like, hey, check this festival out. It's unreal if you just think about it in that context, like who all is playing just in 3 days. And then really just the 13th, 14th, 15th, you've got, Steep Canyon Rangers, which is a huge bluegrass band. That's the first thing that ends up on my feed, so whatever.
Absolutely.
But you have Yellow Wolf in town, Sunny War's playing in town, They Might Be Giants are playing in town, Need to Breathe is playing in town.
Acoustic, right?
Yeah. And then End of the Line is playing in town. Phil Falcone is at Redbud. Remedy Tree, a fantastic bluegrass band.
Yeah, exactly.
William Elliott Whitmore is somebody I'm looking forward to going to seeing at the wood shop. Steve Hostetter is at Songbirds. There's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep.
And that's not even to mention like Red Bank Porch Fest and all the people who are playing at that thing. What a great town. Honestly, you cannot say that there's not great live music in this town, because it expands from national headliners, mid-range artists, people up and coming, to the local band. You can go see every one of those tiers all over the place, you know? So I don't know. I was pretty excited about it. That's why I thought about it. So I put it just in like a little festival graphic and just all right, what would you pay, or how much money would you spend?
That alone is a $300 festival ticket. All those bands right there.
Yeah.
3 days worth of entertainment, insane.
So I guess I think there's a couple of shows to talk about first.
Right.
It's almost pointless to talk about because I think it'll probably be sold out by the time we even consider airing this. But Sunny War at Cherry Street Tavern.
I was going to mention that as well.
That's going to be awesome. I've already got tickets. I hope you've got tickets. Because if you don't, there's not going to be any call my buddy Marty and let me in on this one, because it's probably going to be tough.
Yeah, you're going to be standing outside in the front with Marty saying, well, do I have something to talk to you about?
Yeah. So once I saw that show, that show really pops out at me on the kind of big and national front. Having Need to Breathe in town, having Steep Canyon Rangers in town, and have a Yellow Wolf in town. And even here at Bear House, you got the Motet the same weekend.
Which, if they are staples in the funk jam scene. Staples. And been doing it for 20 plus years. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just don't see how you can really look at it from any standpoint and say that this is not a great music town.
This is a music city, yeah. Absolutely.
Just every weekend, if you start looking at them,
every single one of them.
we have great people pulling great artists in town. There's just people, the opportunities there to go see great music. Do you know much about Need to Breathe? I don't know anything about them.
I mean, in my experience, it was something that a lot of people listened to where I was from, in the culture that I grew up in the church and stuff. So I listened to them a little bit, enough to know it when I hear it, but not enough to be a fan. I know they're legends, like, I had I think I dated a girl that was one of her favorite bands for a little while. But as exes go, you kind of put the bands in the box.
You compartmentalize that band with her. Yeah.
There you go. No bad memories, though. I was going to bring up Remedy Tree, man. I mean, they're playing Florida Roots Fest. Like,
have you seen them play before?
December. Yeah. Weren't they at IBMA?
They were at IBMA,
yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I remembered them. Like, oh my gosh, great band. Great band.
Fantastic band. They're a bunch of really fun, cool people. I bumped into them just outside of Miller Plaza during IBMA. Remedy Tree,
yeah. You met them kind of in, going from one place to another.
Yeah, just talking about I just talked to them about their set. They're a bunch of really cool people, really nice folks.
Yeah.
They gave me a sticker right away, which is always cool. It's a good idea. Bands out there, keep
better than a business card now.
Yeah. And at the wood shop, I mean, that's the best place to listen to discover a band. So
I agree.
I know that Remedy Tree's only played in town one time before IBMA, so they've been here twice. But so they're probably not a bunch of people who really know who they are. But if you like bluegrass, you'll love this band. I mean, they're energetic, they're fun, they have a great live show. They're all fantastic musicians. So I would suggest I'll join that. Whatever choice you have, I'll join that.
On December 3rd, they're playing Florida Roots Festival. I know I said that earlier, but I mean, like, they're on the road to, so it's not just like they're, playing. They've only played Chattanooga once simply because, they haven't had the.
Oh, that's all. Honestly, the first time was, 5 months ago, and then 2 months ago.
Matter of time.
A month
yes,
ago.
Absolutely. Speaking of the wood shop, and I've got a pick for you, Jakey. The wood shop, we've got hip hop night, local hip hop. The event's called I'm From Chat. Of course, I'ma be at the wood shop, November 15th. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. I always like that because when I think about the wood shop, I don't think about a local hip hop night. I don't think about a local comedy night. I don't think about all the things that they actually do. They're a very diverse listening room.
That room is tailor-made for stand-up comedy.
Right.
It has perfect low ceilings.
Right.
When you're standing right there on the stage,
And you feel like you're in to me, I feel like I'm in a building that has some history too. So it makes me comfortable with what's in the room. That's it, man. Like, I feel like I'm talking to kindred spirits no matter what, So at some point in time.
Doing the research for these shows yesterday and today, I wanted to focus on calendars, right? To try to just look up, figure out how to find what I wanted to just by looking at online calendars.
Right.
So I just use online calendars.
Go to the website of the venue, see what they got.
I was just searching as a visitor in a visitor mindset.
Yes.
And just saying, like, on Google, like, Chattanooga Live Music, Chattanooga Events.
Okay.
And then you see which calendar, because that's what pops up as calendars first, right? Is almost everything is a calendar. There's a couple of weird things that I noticed. Number one, number one, that's the one who's doing the best job of popping up everywhere is the Chattanooga Visitors Bureau. They have a sponsored calendar at the top of every one. And it pops up no matter what your search is, no matter how nuanced or weird you get, they've done a good job of being number one. They pop up every time first. And their calendar is pretty good. It just looks like they have a filter as to what kind of events they really do. So, like, maybe local music doesn't really land there. And I've never tried to put something in there, and they do have local things listed. Like they do have, I noticed Danimal has a monthly or a weekly or something like that that's listed. And it could be, maybe it's on Thursdays. So it could just be that not enough people have put their stuff in. I didn't spend enough time on it, so it's, it's like the only thing that I saw that was a little bit of that you could even call a negative, because everything else, it's a very clean website. Everything is really easy. The calendar is super easy to check out and find, and it pops up right away. When you click on it, the first thing that pops up is the calendar. So you're looking at the day in front of you, right? And I think that's cool. If you keep scrolling, there's a couple of different calendars that I've found. The second one is one I already knew about, Chattanooga Music Guide, which is Brett out of WUTC told me about this one at first, and there's an Instagram page, and they'll share everything I post on Instagram. And not just me, all kinds of live music. If you look at their stories, they have live shows going all the time. But their website is pretty cool. Theirs is set up where it's actually really easy to see their calendar.
What's it called?
By venue. It's called the Chattanooga Music Guide.
The Chattanooga Music Guide.
Yeah. And it's on Instagram, it's like CHA Music Guide.
Okay.
There's this cool, one of the things I noticed, and it was kind of the same thing with even the Visitors Bureau, was all of the events are in the venues on this side of Brainerd, or this side of the tunnels. Like, they're all, everything downtown. That's all they are. All of the live was all just downtown, right? There's a bunch of, it's a good way to look at future events to me, because you can do it by venue and you can just kind of scroll straight down. It's an easy way to see it real quick. But if you're thinking about a calendar, you're like, what day specifically, what's happening, it doesn't just kind of scratch that itch. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make it easy. But it does do really well to explain, especially to outside, to like a visitor, what everything is. There's like an explanation of what Songbirds is, and you can see the website, you can see their calendar, and I think that's a great site. I really like that site. I know the people behind it. It's a passion project. It's not like they're not making any money. They're doing it because they're wanting to help promote local music. So that makes it a little more like, yeah, cool. ChattanoogaShows.com. That's a newer one, and that's someone I bumped into on Instagram, and I think they're just really kind of getting started, but their calendar is awesome. They did a really, really great job of the calendar, and you can filter by a bunch of genres. If you want to filter by genre, you can filter by genres, or you can just click no filter and it'll show you everything, and they have a ton of stuff listed.
How far did they post out?
It looked like they were posting. I mean, I'm looking at stuff that's 2 or 3 weeks out today. Wow. I didn't look out past that, but their submission is super easy. Is really easy. And when I talked to them, they didn't have a bluegrass selection in there. You couldn't sort by bluegrass. And I asked them right away, no problem. If you'll put it in here, we'll do it. So they're super responsive. They're eager, so that's a great calendar. I thought that was a cool calendar to check out. You brought one up to me,
but that was ChattanoogaShows.com?
That's ChattanoogaShows.com.
Okay, cool. And then there's an Instagram, the one we were talking about. Yeah. And you'd found it too, hadn't you? Yeah. It was
it's Chat Music Live, CHATT Music Live.
And I really like this because it's a real comprehensive week by week festival kind of format. It's like as if the whole weekend was a festival. So for example, this, Thursday events, it shows you what, first of all, the band, where, the cover, the age, the door, what time the show is, and the genre. And it shows you all in a kind of Excel spreadsheet kind of way. And I really like that because for people that need to be more organized, for people that really are trying to figure out, you know, what we were talking about, photographers trying to go to different events. That allows for a really comprehensive guide to the night, and paces, you know, how I can go to this show and then that show and another show like we do sometimes. So I really like that. And it's Instagram, so where some people wouldn't necessarily go online now, right? Where some people wouldn't do a website, Instagram's so much more accessible. So I think that joins the generational gap. So what we're doing is presenting, you know, a lot of formats, and notice that they're all online. Notice that's the way it's being done. So, you know, it's a paperless way. It's a quick and easy kind of way. You don't even have to leave the house, you know, to find these ways. And that's how I find live music, you know, other than going to each individual event. How I found this show, Barking Legs, I went to their website, and they have a really comprehensive kind of scrolling format. You don't necessarily pick the day, but you see when at the top all of these days are booked. You can scroll down to that event that's in an order format. And the one that I was going to talk about, because I'm looking for more jams, because now we talked about jams our last episode, and I think that's just a cool concept. It's called The Floor Is Yours. The gentleman by the name of, on Facebook, Undoctored Woodford, hosted the house band for that. Yeah. And at the time, it was kind of a house band format where, you know, you would kind of come up with your instrument and they would make it up. But now it's anything. So I hit Robert Posey up because I know him and the Robert Posey, because I know him and Woodford are friends. And I said, so what's going on now? And he said, well, it's more open. So if you want to get up there and tell a story, if you want to get up there and do comedy, if you want to get up, it's way open. So what you're going to get is a true open format where there aren't as, with the jams that we've talked about before, it's exclusively music. Well, that's where you can go and do that. Because I always have to, like, in the back of my mind.
So what's the difference between this and an open mic?
Open mic would be, that's usually...
is there more people on stage than just one?
It's more music. You're not going to have somebody come up and do comedy at an open mic unless it's an open mic comedy. Or where Cherry Street is an open mic music. This is just a free-formed open mic. So somebody can get up there and do whatever, where it's a lot more permission. So if you're looking for that kind of style and you're looking to just cut your teeth, you know, in a seasoned room, the incredible listening room, go to the Barking Legs.
Is that something they do weekly, or?
That's something they do monthly, and it's called The Floor Is Yours. It's on Thursday, November 13th, 7 to 9:30. So I thought that was a pretty out, you know, event that, you know, where a lot of times we're pointing people to what they can see. I like to point people to where they can participate too, because man, that's what we're both about, right? You know, so, yep.
Thinking that same thing. Barking Legs is one, and so was Redbud.
Yes.
Right? Where I had to go to look, and Sluggos is another one.
Sluggos, yes.
Go to and look and say, all right, so what's happening?
So where did you found Redbud online?
Well, the Chattanooga Music Guide does a pretty good job with Redbud. They actually had more stuff listed than the Redbud site did at the time.
Okay.
It may be changed right now. But
what a great room, Redbud, man.
Yeah.
Love that spot, man. And they just got a mural done on the side of it. That looks great. Sluggos, how did you find Sluggos?
Sluggos has like the same kind of thing, or it seemed to me like the same thing we had talked about before, where it was like they post the week thing 2 days into the week. Right. And so like you can see the events that are there, but there wasn't anything that was current. Well, at least when I looked, it was, you know, just, but, that's a shame, because like you look at the posters, and the posters are great, and they have great shows.
Great shows.
And
they're legendary, man. That legendary room.
But it's like if you're not there, if you don't hang out all the time, you got to kind of hang out.
Is it kind of genre specific to be not as promotional?
Maybe.
Is that, you know, I was kind of thinking about that.
Maybe.
Sometimes am I asking?
That's a good question.
Am I asking somebody to do something that is not their roots, right? Because if it is punk and we are throwing it together day of, I'm not going to knock it if that's the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what we're trying to do. So I'm also not trying to tell anybody how to do their job, you know?
No, not knocking anything. It's just,
Keep on rocking.
but it's just one of those things where they don't, well, like, how do Sluggos get their shows on Visitors Bureau website? Does that happen?
Right. And we're trying to figure out how we can, because the theory that you and I are working with is that by more informing and more centralized information, we have communication, and then we can turn the scene on a dime, because now we're together and we know we're supporting good local live music.
Yeah. And there's more calendars than the ones we're talking about. There's there's way more, and just tell us the ones we missed, please. Like, whatever, hit us with a comment, let us know what we missed.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, and please share your events.
It would be incredible if we had a link tree to just all of them.
Well, we have a website, right? So on the website, you can just hit us with a contact and let us know about whatever your events are. And that's what we'll do. We'll just throw a bunch of links up with all the calendars, whatever events we can. I thought, this is the other thing that I thought was interesting. In doing a bunch of this research, or in doing research on the shows and be like, all right, what's happening? I first was like critical of a couple of calendars, is nobody's listing anything on the other side of the tunnels. Nobody listing anything on Brainerd Road. Nobody listing any shows in East Ridge. No shows in Ooltewah, no shows Gun Barrel Road, none of that. Nobody's listing any of them. And so then I started thinking, like, well, who's playing there? Like, what? Because I don't really see. I just have always kind of been working under the assumption that there's, like, the East Chattanooga, or whatever, the North Chattanooga music scene, or whatever direction it is.
Right.
That music scene, that I just don't really get that. It's not really in my algorithm, so I just don't really see it, you know? My assumption has always been, because it's kind of cover bands and it's like, things like that. No, that's completely wrong. That's a terrible assumption, because there's just nothing happening. I mean, there is just no live music venues. So please, that's another one. Write us. Tell me where I can find live music on Brainerd Road. Or where can we find live music in Ooltewah or in East Brainerd or East Ridge? I mean, do they have shows? I couldn't find anything. I Googled live music, 5 pages with no, and went through multiple shutdown venues, finally landed on the Revelry Room before I was like, all right, but no live music happening at all in East Brainerd, no live music happening on Gun Barrel Road. It seems crazy to me that that's the truth. That can't be the truth, right? I just don't go out there because I don't live out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, because I'm racking my brain currently.
Yeah, that's the thing. Think about it. Can you think of any, Jake? Yeah, he shook his head no.
Yeah, the only other, when I think of venues that are popping outside of what people would call the Chattanooga area, it's all Chattanooga to me, to be honest, because there's so much interplay in those. Even Ooltewah, there's so much interplay between, until you get to Cleveland, I guess. But Doc Holliday's.
But I mean, that's him. Right. That's Ashland Terrace.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying as close to the central. Yeah. That's the only other one I can think of in the whole ring. Yeah. You know. And I know there's music happening somewhere. Come on now.
To me, I don't know. I don't like where, if you're in East Ridge and you're like, I'm going to a show, you have to come downtown. If you're in East Brainerd, you have to come downtown.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of the whole 360 there. And I've heard talk, I'll be in bars with musicians and they're thinking about opening something, I mean, would Ray's be the closest thing you got?
Well, Ray's will be that's what I mean. If you start thinking about it like a hot zone, right. It's going to be the furthest thing out now. So, 1885 has music from time to time, and that they have one out in Ooltewah. I played out there, and they have music at that little square, Cambridge Square. They do shows and stuff out there, and they do one-offs. But like, I can't think of anything where it's like Friday night honky tonk night at Balabala's. I don't know of anything in East Brainerd or anything out that way at all.
Great name for a venue, Bala Balans. For real. No, I can't think of anything either. And
that's wild.
I mean, it's so much. I'm burning rubber out Ocoee way, and I mean, what you got before you get to Pokey's? You know what I'm saying?
Is closed.
That's a all right bus bar.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's the bus bar. Cleveland's got a couple of places that are popping up and that are doing good. I know there's live music at a place called the Diving Mouse.
I was just about to say
anything about it.
Yeah.
I think there's another spot that's opening up in like the old Village Mall that they're doing live music in. I think those are also kind of one-off shows. But yeah, I don't know. Like all of the live music just seems to be centered in this one thing. So my original critiques were like, I can't believe they're not focusing on any music on that other side, and there just isn't. There just isn't really stuff there. So please let me know what we're missing. We have to be missing something. There has to be something going on that side of the tunnels that, I don't know. I didn't find it.
Yeah.
I Googled the hell out of it and couldn't find it.
It's a good thing to dig for, ask around. So if you guys know, I mean, please.
That's one of the things I was like, it will be fun to just be like, oh, we're just going to go hit venues in East Brainerd and go to live music shows for like a week and see which ones we like the best and talk about them. That idea's out the window because there ain't none. It's like, I mean, there's just no live music happening at all.
Joel and Randy go to every garage in East Brainerd to find out where the music is being played.
It's got to be somewhere.
Wait, we'll find it.
Yeah. I think it is interesting, in like trying to get in the right mindset, playing, like setting expectations and making sure that your expectations are like what you think is actually going to happen. You know what I mean? Or your expectations are in the right place or like have the right target on them. And it's like almost like a direct correlation to how you feel after the show or at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like were you expecting you were going to play the show and get signed right away?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. This is
going
to be my big break.
Yeah. I think if you expand that out too into like a musician's career, you can really like kind of find yourself like, well, what am I focusing on the right thing? Is this about music? Is this about art? Right. Is this becoming about business? Is this becoming about, like what is it becoming about? Kind of make decisions so that you're looking at it from a whole point of view. But the main thing being that I have learned, at least in the past, that the most disappointed I've ever been is not because what I wanted to happen didn't happen, but because my expectations for it or the results were completely misguided or, just misaimed. As a musician, it's easy to do that to yourself. It's really easy to set your goals or say, I'm going to do this. This is what success means. And then, or comparison, that's the other one. It really sets that into shape, saying this person's doing this. And I remember when they were knee-high to a grasshopper and now they're this. That's what I was, but, yeah, so I don't know. It seems to me to be there's more than one musician I know that seems to be struggling with it, and it seems like it's on all levels,
right?
Or like what you hope is going to happen, and then ultimately there's no way that it can attain the dream-like status that you put upon it. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't ever based in reality in the first place. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what they call the rub, right? I mean, it's like I have played what I perceived as the best shows of my life to 3 people in the A-Frame and, Bowling Green, Kentucky, man. I mean, it was like, so it really got me thinking. I think I was like 25 and that happened. And you can't unsee something like that when every note is perfect. Like it doesn't happen every time, but when you just look over and you can like,
yeah, it's never happened.
You can like, every note was perfect, dude. And the bass player was playing everything right. And the guitar player, and like every note, and the 3 people literally that were in the crowd just like we couldn't believe what was happening. It was just one of those moments. And we're just like, this is insane for 3 people. And what it really kind of broke my brain to the business, because at that point, I've lived in Nashville my whole life. And I was like, I have no idea what's happening. Long story short, we as musicians try to move hundreds of people at one time to a singular place. People don't do that. That's almost impossible in this world to do. And the fact that it's actually being achieved is insane, like by individuals that you were a part of that, at Jazz Fest. And what I kind of have to say is, to me, am I moving my position forward? And I think an accurate view of self and an accurate view of, because if I'm not getting my way, it's because I'm at the center of my own universe.
Yeah, what do you mean?
It's because I think I'm trying to be in control.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be in control. At the end of the day, when I'm upset about something that didn't happen, it's because it didn't happen for me. It has nothing to do with you. And as an artist mindset, like, we have to retain the collective mindset, in my opinion. Because when you succeed, yes. Because the first thing a musician is trained to do by the ego is, well, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I watch people do. And being in Nashville, growing up there's always going to be a better guitar player, always a better vocalist, always better, best, this language of comparison. And so what I've found is, my mom would always say, it doesn't matter whether your team loses or wins. Did your team walk away encouraged because of you? And she was like, when you don't know what to do, help somebody.
That's cool.
When you don't know what to do, encourage somebody. Because for me as a musician, this is just me. This doesn't have to be for anybody else. I'm a healer. I can't do anything about it, man. People feel good when they're around me. So we might as well use it for a good reason.
It might be the beef jerky.
It's the beef jerky. It's because I put on a little extra deodorant lately, But I think we need to refocus on what we're doing, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you up to? What's your intention? Because if your intention is in the right place, none of that's gonna.
Yeah.
And I
don't know. I see a lot of people whose intentions aren't in the right place that seem to be successful.
Well, and therein lies, when it goes back to my training, that is accumulated so that it can be redispersed back to the people that are doing it for the right reason. Because as so-and-so takes up, well, guess who else is? All the rest musicians in their wake, And so I really believe that it's because, and I'm going through it right now, man. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, that's what we always
like.
Yeah.
But it's the one thing that I've retained in my career is just, if I don't know what to do, just encourage somebody. Because somebody took the time to do that, and I can list 5 guys that right now, if I were to call them up and ask them, hey, do you feel successful? We'd have an hour-long conversation. But I wouldn't be sitting here because of those 5 guys. So what's my perception, right? How many players are, and I reminded my friends about this yesterday. How many people are standing here because of you? So what is it? Like, it's such an ego game. And if my intention stays in the right place, then it's all good. But to not bring music business into music, even though I'm in the business.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's a weird fine line.
Yeah.
It's a weird fine line because it's almost like it's almost like when the money is so bad in music, it's just like it's almost a respect thing more than anything else. It seems like it's just, there's no money except for all of a sudden huge money for this one top 1.1% of the 1%,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. Like, that's just cool. I don't have a problem with that. Whatever, that's the way it is. but it does make it tough to be like, I'm going to make a living playing music. I'm just never able to do it, not until now. And now it's only because I have a pension, you know.
Right.
You know, it's like, if it hadn't been for working for 25 years, I wouldn't be able to be a full-time musician. And even with a pension, it's not easy. It's not like it's going to happen.
Nope.
You know, a year from now, we may not be doing any of this.
Right.
You know, I might be working at Maytag.
Right. But we've also been saying that for
Which is cool.
We've also been saying that for 25 years too.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, dead serious. This doesn't make sense, and it didn't make sense when I was a teenager, right before I started touring. Like, we were making. I actually, it doesn't matter because this place doesn't exist. We're making $216 a week with $10 a day. And we were doing 7 nights a week.
Yeah, that's tough.
And so like I knew it up front, that when you're going to the church and literally they're giving you food because you can't afford to eat any other way. That's just the way that non-quantifiable kind of things, art especially, is just going to be treated because it's taken advantage. Anybody can do it. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it is so much easier now. That's the thing. It's so much easier to get a clean recording. It's so much easier to upload it, to distribute it. This thing, it wouldn't have been possible 5 years ago, or because we would have had to do a bunch of stuff to get it distributed and get it all put out or whatever, right?
Man.
So, I mean, everything is so much easier to do. There's so much more noise that, like, trying to stick out, that in itself becomes a distraction from the artwork, right? If you're like, I want to write a song because I need it to hit at 6 seconds so that it triggers the algorithm to go a certain way. Well, I mean, man, I get it, like that's part of writing, but it seems like it's a wild way to express yourself.
Mm-hmm. And not everybody now is playing to get on a stage, right? Like, you can get famous and just sit behind a screen.
Very true.
For 15 seconds a pop, and have 27 million views on, a really good 15 seconds of a mediocre 4-minute song. It's kind of like, I don't really know.
I feel like you're talking about me now.
Yeah, Rand, you showed me your recent reel. No, but it's so interesting, man. Like, what are people's intention? That's what it goes back to. If your intention is to go viral, well, good luck, right? If your intention is to get famous, good luck.
That's really true. That's not really a point. I guess that's kind of unfair to just look at it from the lens I was looking at it, because you're really saying I'm really roping everybody into the same saying you're writing for music for this,
And a lot of people, I didn't know this though going in, because people are raised different. Music was used, and if you brought ego into it, it was very quickly shot down. Very quickly. Don't you dare. And then you would get scalded for it, sentenced to hell for it, kind of thing, And so I tread lightly on it, because I know that
you don't want to get sentenced to hell.
First of all, I don't want to go to hell. But like, second of all, it was like, that there's a reason for that, and it's simply because music is so powerful, man. It's so powerful. And so I forget that some people do it for personal gain. And if you're doing music for personal gain, that's going to be a slippery slope, brother. And so it's like, it's not personal gain. It's, when somebody does it for a living, whether they make money or not, they do it for a living. They have the lifestyle, they have the candor, they have the openness, because of music makes very hard people into very open people, like people that normally wouldn't hang out or kicking it. And so I think if you have that, if you're focusing on that, but man, that doesn't pay the bills, right? And so I've sung this song for a long time, and because of that, you sell jerky at your shows, and because of that, I paint houses in Alaska, and because of that, I do what literally, if I have to work a festival, or if I have to go on the road and figure something out with another band, that's what you got to do. And so I think it's it's the mindset that I'm going to make this work for my whole life, no matter what. To me, that is success.
Be just having the mindset.
Having that mindset. Because finding a guy that's been doing it and he's 65 for his whole life. I met a drummer last night. I called him Sugarfoot, one of the best drummers I'd heard. Older guy that was playing the Jazz Fest. He said, I've been playing for 60 years. Walked up on stage with a cane, and it was a tight stage. And somebody was like, how's this guy gonna do? I said, if he thought it was worth it to walk through that stage with a cane to get on the drums, he's about to kill it. 60 years, nicest guy I've ever met. Success.
Yeah. Did he kill it?
He doesn't have an Dude, he didn't have an Instagram. He couldn't, hey, check me out. I'll be playing, Hyde Park or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the man.
Yeah.
And then I think in this world, as a musician, if you can rip through it and just be a cool, real guy, that's roots music.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So that's anyway, a good time.
And so my expectation personally is just to be able to continue to be able to hang out with the cats.
Yeah.
And that'll figure itself out.
That's the best part of music is, the best part about the Chattanooga music scene is that it's small enough we can all
15
know each
people
other.
at the show are musicians, so it works out.
All right. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.